It's that time of year again when leaders from the world's 20 biggest economies gather for a family photo. This year, under Turkey's presidency, they're meeting in Antalya. But why meet and what do they talk about? The Group of 20 is an international forum for the governments and central bank governors from 19 countries plus the European Union. In 2009, the G20 replaced the G8 as the main economic council because the balance of the world economy has been clearly changing. In terms of GDP, members of the G8 dominated half of the world economy. But today, China has the second largest economy, while India's GDP is now bigger than Canada's. Cemil Ertem is a chief economic advisor to the Turkish president. He says developing countries now have a say at this summit.
G20 esasında gelişmekte olan ülkelerin sürece dahil olduğu ve küresel ekonomide kendi çıkarı doğrultusunda öneriler sunduğu bir platform haline dönüşmektedir.
The G20 is an informal forum, and so it doesn't have a permanent office. The presidency rotates every year to ensure regional balance. The president brings together an agenda. It's supported by a group called the troika, made up of the previous, present and next host countries. Actually, the communique of the summit is decided ahead of the final gathering during pre-summit negotiations. These are held by sherpas. Not the ones in the Himalayas, but the personal representatives of the leaders who do the diplomatic heavy lifting. For the first time in its history, the G20's economic agenda takes a back seat to political issues. Let's face it, there are certain global problems that need to be addressed now, like the deepening refugee crisis, issues of global terrorism, and the war in Syria. So the Turkish president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, has suggested they handle these problems during the working dinner on the summit's first day. But global economic growth and jobs will still be talked about. Erdogan says the primary goal of the G20 under Turkish presidency is to boost global growth.
Dünya çapında ekonomik büyümenin canlandırılması, dengeli ve sürdürülebilir bir büyüme eğilimi geliştirilmesi öncelikli hedeflerimiz arasında.
Russia will get a lot of attention at this year's summit. It's a close ally of Syria and is currently launching airstrikes against areas held by Daesh in Syria. When Russia annexed Crimea in Ukraine, it was suspended from the G8 but not expelled, so it will still take part in this year's gathering. But some people criticise the summit as a $1 million waste of time. The two-day meeting costs a lot of money and requires the highest level of security. In Antalya this year, there would be more police officers than delegates and journalists. It's estimated that last year, Australia spent around $500 million on its two-day summit. That included $186,000 for the meeting table and $68,000 for the leaders' chairs. This enormous cost for the summit has led to G20's history of protests and criticism. But Cemil Ertem says it's wrong to narrow down the benefits of the summit to only 2 days.
G20 zirveleri esasında bir yıl süren etkinliklerin, başlıkların ve çalışmaların finali olarak gündeme gelmektedir. Bu anlamda G20'de harcanan paraların yalnızca 2 günde sınırlı gösterilmesi yanlış bir algı.
Another knock against the G20 is the underrepresentation of some countries, such as the African nations. They're represented by the African Union as a permanent guest each year, but they have little or no voice. Also, non-European Union members like Norway are also not represented. Back in 2010, Norway's former Foreign Minister Jonas Gahr Støre criticised the group for being self-appointed. It may be more representative than the G7 or G8, but it's still arbitrary. We no longer live in the 19th century, a time when the major powers met and redrew the map of the world. But in the end, it's still a nice opportunity for leaders to get their pictures taken.